Hey guys, let's get clear today. All right, I was talking to a friend and I was just hearing that she was just really confused and getting guidance from different areas. And this was a cycle that I've heard her on over and over again. So today I just want to give a message about getting clear about the guidance you're hearing. And if you're noticing that it's repeating over and over and the message you're getting isn't clear and it feels like it's coming from something different's coming here and something different's coming there, and you're just like, yet you kind of know the truth right here. So stick with me here. This is a really, really important message about where you're getting your guidance from. So I'm Rebecca Abraxas. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining and visiting this tribe. We go live every Friday, so come join us. All right, so how do you get clear with the guidance that you're receiving? Well, guys, it's super important to get sovereign, okay? And what this means is that we have many aspects of ourselves, and this can be described in lots of different ways. Parallel universes, alternate realities, different timelines, however you want to label it, different dimensions of ourselves. And what I've talked about in other videos is dimensions are basically just different consciousnesses or vibrations of ourselves. And so as we go along, it's like we've ascended already, like it's already happened, and we get to kind of play up to ourselves again at source. And so along the way are all the parts of ourselves at different frequencies, at different dimensions. And it's kind of like rock climbing. Have you ever rock climbed? I live in Boulder, Colorado, where you put that pro in, right? And you climb up to it and then take it out. And then you climb up to the next one and take it out. Climb up to the next one. It's kind of like our ascension process. We raise up to our next dimension, and then we raise up to our next level of self, and then we raise up to the next level. And I do not claim to know how it all works, but we kind of view it linearly, in a line, linearly. I can't say it, in a linear fashion. But really, quantum reality and dimensions, I think, are all sandwiched together and all happening all at once. I don't know. What do you know about that? Let me know. Teach us in the comments. So when we are getting guidance from all these aspects of ourselves at different frequencies and dimensions, it can get very confusing because all of them are guidance. All of them are right. So what do you follow? I was going through this a lot. I've been on my spiritual journey for a very long time. I'm 50, kind of started meditating when I was 18, had some different awakening processes and things that, anyway, whatever. Here I am at 50, and wow, just about like a year and a half ago, it became clear what was happening and why it wasn't clear. And now it is super clear. So I'm going to give you this trick, okay? And it's not going to happen overnight, but it's important. Now, I have a video called, I forget what it's called, but it's about updating your guides, okay? Go listen to that. This is a little bit along the lines. Your guides are you. A lot of your guides are your ascended self, okay? So what you want to do is integrate all of yourselves. You want to integrate everything into kind of the central column. And if you get sovereign with just going to your highest self, so there's a spark of source in you, that is your highest consciousness available. It's right in here. And if we can expand and tune to that every day and say, that's who I will be listening to. Everything else, go away. Okay? You make this sovereign connection, expansion, and attunement with your sovereign self at source through you, for you, as you. When you do that and you make that command and demand, it's really powerful because all the chatter from all the various dimensions and guidances and all that kind of stuff quiets down. And you get it. It's actually a little uncomfortable how quiet it is. So there's that, because we're so used to having all the chatter, right? Whether that's thought patterns from neighbors, whether it's programmed thought patterns from teachers and parents. We got that chatter, but we also have the energetic chatter of our guides, of entities that have been helping us, of our demons. Demons are just entities that have a job, of trauma, of ascended parts of ourselves. Okay, now they might have ascended to the fourth dimension. Okay, and then we have a self in the fifth and sixth and seventh. It goes all the way, goes infinite. So where and who do you want to listen to? Okay, now this is a little thing I do. I make that connection to my sovereign self, my source highest self. And I usually just go for the 144th dimension because I feel like that's probably good enough for this life here. Anyway, I've just had sometimes the awareness to go to the 144th. See where you want to go. And then everything else goes away. And then you say, for me, through me, as me. Okay? And then you just listen and you just sit there. And it comes to you not as a person talking to you. It comes to you like just, oh, yeah, just like awareness. Like, oh, yeah. And it's really cool, but it's different. It's different than a guide like talking to you. Now, if you want to talk to guides, you can say, I want to only talk to the guides that I have, I have sanctioned by me, for me, as me at source. And so then you're making another demand of the guides that you're willing to speak to. Because guys, what we don't realize, it is a freaking vibrational potpourri out there. I just did a video last week about what are you really surrendering to? And people say surrender. I love the practice of surrender, but be careful. Like, what vibration are you surrendering to and into? You really want to make a command and demand of that, really. So clean this all up. If you're like getting like, there's just so much conflicting information coming, I'm unclear. To get clear, make a sovereign connection with your source self, not yourself all along the trajectory of your ascension. Okay? And by all means, make sure you're starting to clear your field of entities, of disembodied energy. Okay? Clear that out and then be willing, because once you've cleared that out, you've created space and it's going to be uncomfortable. So what you want to do is clear that out and say, I inhabit all of my body and field. Because when we don't, you start feeling a little depressed. You start feeling like uncomfortable. You want to crawl out of your skin. This is very normal. It's an ascension symptom, because as you let go of these disembodied beings, you're releasing, you're subtracting to float back up to the lightness, to raise your vibration. So fill yourself back in with the light. For some reason, those entities had to come in there. They're denser, they're trying to help, or they're just trying to find a place to embody. Get that stuff out of there and you will lighten up, but you also fill yourself back up. So far, how is this going? Let me know in the comments. Does this make sense? Or is this kind of like, what? Let me know. Okay, so let's recap, guys. If you are really unclear and you're getting tons of guidance, and the more you meditate and the more you become more empathic and the more you're on your awakening journey, it's getting more chattery and you cannot tell what guidance to follow, this is for you. So make sure you connect with your sovereign source self at the highest consciousness. And then everything else goes away. All right, you make that demand. And you can actually ask to have the information from the guides sanctioned by you, for you, as you, as source, okay? And that's the only guidance you follow. The guidance will be a little different than you're used to. It's not going to be like something's talking at you. It's going to be like, it's a good idea. Yeah, I think I'll go over here. Huh, you know? And so just know that awareness shifts as you shift, okay? So don't get too locked in to what it should look like. And when you make this demand, it's going to get quiet. You're going to feel like you're offline, like you're not spiritual anymore. You're not, but it's because you are source having this experience through this body. You're not being all these other beings all at once. Yeah, I know, right? Like, that's like, wow, it's going to feel so relieving. The clarity is going to feel so good, but you may be a little lonely because some of us get a little attached to those entities and those guides and those aspects of ourselves. So, really, what you're doing is you're just taking all the aspects of yourselves and you're asking it to come into one sovereign connection with your source self, which that spark is right here. So, all you have to do is expand it out and make a demand every morning and night that you live with that source self, with that consciousness. This is super important work, guys. You know, I'm hearing so much. I'm on YouTube and TikTok a lot. This is my thing. And I'm listening to a lot of people have a lot of guidance from lots of strange things. And a lot of people being kind of confused or heavy or depressed, or sometimes the heaviness and the depression is coming from having guides that you have outgrown, or and this might be creepy, but it's true, guides that are pretending to be guides but are oppositional forces that are telling you things to guide you away from your lightest self and your source self. I know that one sounds creepy. That's happened to me. That went away once I made this sovereign connection, because I was just like, how do I tell? I feel like I'm vibing high. I get done my meditation. I'm writing in my journal. And then I'm like, wait, like it's saying this, but it's contradicting myself and saying this. Like, what's true? And it was really uncomfortable and really confusing. So once I made this really, sovereign connection to my source self, that's the only thing that's allowed to speak to me, and it got quiet and it got clear and it felt really good, and I got less wobbles. My vibration stopped kind of doing this, okay? Because if you're listening to all different types of vibration, that means you are tending to all those vibrations in yourself. So you are kind of this like teeter-totter of vibration. And so let's clean that up. Make a demand that this is what I live from. I live from my source self. I live from my highest consciousness. Everything else, let's integrate and rise together. So I hope this made sense. Let me know of any questions you had. And if you have a real good question, we can bring it to our live stream on Friday. So Fridays we go live as a tribe. Bring those questions, write them out in the comments here, and I'll make it a topic in our live stream. Okay? If you would like some support around this topic, around upgrading your guides, learning how to meditate with sovereign connections, if you would like that kind of support, I go to my website, Abraxas.com. I have ways to support you, whether it's email coaching or an immersion, mentoring, or just single sessions. Be happy to support you. All right, beautiful being. Good luck. Have fun with this. I'm excited for you. Let me know how it goes. Namaste.